Wjob, AM 1230 and 104.7 FM. It's the City of East Chicago show. My name is Verlie Suggs, the host of the show, and with me today I have two extremely special guests. The new fire chief for the City of East Chicago, that's Damon Carpenter, as well as the deputy chief, Marc Escobedo. So welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's so great to have you. I mean, the last show I did, it was like two different people here. And, of course, it was the police chief and the former fire chief, Tony Cerna. We want to congratulate Tony on his new position with emergency management. We know he'll do a fantastic job with that department. But Chief Carpenter, yes. Welcome.
Thank you.
We're going to hear a little bit about our two esteemed gentlemen that are here with us today and talk about the direction of the East Chicago Fire Department under their leadership and the leadership of Mayor Anthony Copeland. So let's start, Damon. Let's tell a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you got to be the chief of the fire department in East Chicago.
Yeah, how I got to be the chief. I'm not sure if that's fate. I'll either be famous or infamous. No. 23 years with the East Chicago Fire Department. Actually, today is my 23rd anniversary.
Fantastic. Oh, wow. Congratulations.
So I want to shout out to the guys I got online with, Joe Villegas, William Cook, and my brother who's retired, Brandon Carpenter. So
your brother retired. Okay, I was wondering. Yes. You had you even had a brother-in-law who was a firefighter. Yes, so you have had a family of people who have been in service to this community.
Yes, that is true.
So go ahead. Did you ever think that one day you would be the chief?
I didn't think a month ago that I would be the chief. So that would be no.
No, okay.
But that is part of my service. And
okay.
Part of the reason why I took the job is because the job has been good to me. And I tell people if there's a better job out there, I don't want to know about it. And so it's about giving back. My life has always been about giving back.
That's fantastic.
So
tell me some of the positions you have held throughout your career with the fire department.
Okay. So a month ago, I was chief inspector, and I held that position for a year and a half. Before that, I was deputy chief for maybe 3 years. Before that, I was inspector captain in the inspection bureau. Before that, I was a captain on line on a fire truck. And before that, I was engineer or chauffeur.
So there is nothing that can say that you didn't come up through the ranks.
I came up through the ranks, yeah. There were a couple of positions I did not get, which I may go back and get. But once I moved to inspection, that's an investigation. That's a different division. And so I just have a great interest in that.
Great. Well, Deputy Chief Escobedo, tell us a little bit about your career with the fire department.
Okay, yeah, I got hired in 1997, basically alongside, just a year prior to Chief Carpenter here. Moved up the ranks alongside him, became captain roughly 2006. From captain, I became deputy chief in 2018, a couple of years ago. And I've been deputy chief since 2019. Actually.
Great.
Yeah.
I know that, we have a tendency, you guys want to look at me, but East Chicago Channel 21 will be viewing this, and we definitely want to make sure that you direct your attention to Mr. Ryan Lomax over there, who is our cameraman.
He's my favorite guy over there.
We're going to try Verlie, but I've been, this is on my bucket list to come on your show, so I get to check this off now. So, okay, I'll try not to look at you and look at Ryan.
I am honored, and I'm sorry that it took this long to get you here then, because if it was on your bucket list, I love to fulfill bucket lists immediately. So, gentlemen, there's been a lot of controversy with the East Chicago Fire Department, and Chief Cerna did a fantastic job in that role, and now there's a new direction with two gentlemen, two new people. I'm not going to say new direction as far as what the plan is, but I just want to hear, what are your plans and what is your direction with the East Chicago Fire Department?
Okay. We can only control from today forward. We can't control what happened in the past. Although, there are lessons there are things to learn, we can't control that. And so that's what our focus is to focus on the future. We've met with the union, and our talks have gone well. We met with them a few times, and things are going well. And, man, our goal really is the wellness and the health and the well-being of the firefighter. And so that's where we're going to
Chief, we're going to ask you to hold your mic a little closer to your mouth so we get a nice clear. And if you ever see Sonny giving you the symbol, he's the guy to watch.
It's like squirrel. I got so much stuff to watch here. So, but yeah, that's the goal of the fire department, just the health, the wellness, and the well-being of the firefighters, which will better protect our citizens. And just, man, dude, we know we've come from challenging times over the past year and a half. There are a lot of things that happen. But I will say this, the members of the fire department, they showed up every day. They did their job every day. They came to work every day. They did that. And service never dropped. Citizens were never in jeopardy or danger because of someone feeling something or someone not feeling something or feeling a certain way. You know, that's one of the things I've always admired. Ever since I got on, I noticed when I first got on, you know, you'll see guys who would bicker, guys who don't like each other. You know, we're all here for a purpose, but you have different personalities. But whenever that bell will go off, whenever those tones will go off, those guys and girls worked together. Everyone came together. They put everything aside, you know, for that common goal. So that's one thing that makes me really proud to be a Chicago firefighter, just a firefighter in general.
Well, let's talk about a little bit about what East Chicago's fire department has to offer. Because, I mean, to me, everything is state of the art there. You have a training facility. You have fantastic stations. Let's talk about that, Deputy Chief Escobedo.
Okay, yeah, we actually have plenty to offer. 2020 was, you know, kind of I guess it slowed us down quite a bit just due to COVID. So we were unable to do what we've done in 2019, which is, you know, provide pack and plays, car seat inspections, smoke along with smoke detectors. We partnered with Red Cross and we were handing out going door to door.
I know you were doing the pack and goes at one time for the babies to
yeah,
sleep
the pack
in
and plays,
and everything.
yeah, that was a great program too. So that all kind of came to a stop when COVID hit. But yeah, we're looking. I talked to the chief when he was tasked new fire chief and touched on his vision and what he was looking to do. And I always felt my role is to make it happen. So the goal is, to get back on track. Hopefully, you know, everybody gets vaccinated and things kind of get back to some kind of normal, or we can get back to providing that quality of service. And that has always been, you know, my goal, to provide a certain level of quality to the public. And yeah, it'd be nice to get back to that. So it just matter of time, I guess.
So I know that the fire chief is appointed by the mayor of a community. Is the deputy chief appointed by the mayor as well, or are you picked by the chief? How does that work?
That's a good question. I don't know. How did I get
He
it?
is picked by the chief, and
Really?
yes,
That's fantastic.
and so he did a great job as deputy chief before, so that's why I felt confident and honored. If he was not deputy chief, I would have asked him to be. You know, as he said, he's got a year over me, you know, as far as seniority.
I bring it up quite a bit.
Yeah, he does.
So Chief Cerner picked you
Yes.
previously, and Chief Carpenter has retained you,
Yes.
retained your position because of his confidence in your
Yes.
your abilities. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, just coming up through the ranks, we used to study together for promotion exams. We used to train together. You know, we kind of grew together and climbed together and ascended together. So, yeah, great work ethic, you know, great ideas, great execution. Yeah, he's part of the glue or the fabric for me, trust me. Him and administrative assistant Maria, they've made this transition so easy for me. Not saying it hasn't been challenging at times, but it just made it a lot easier, or else I'd be lost.
That is key. We got a good staff, front office staff, and our assistant chiefs that run the day-to-day, district chiefs, our captains. We definitely got a good department.
Fantastic.
Great department, I should say.
Well, both of you being East Chicago homegrown, what would you say to our youth today that might be considering what they want to do for their future? What would you say to them to get them to want to take on the same positions that you gentlemen do right now, as far as starting out as firefighters, and what the possibilities are?
As I said earlier, there's a better job out there. I don't want to know about it. Rewarding. Man, that's the biggest thing for me. It's just helping someone. You know, firefighting, police, EMS, those are jobs that machines can't do. Those are jobs computers can't do. That's person-to-person contact. And I'm a firm believer that it's up to each and every one of us to help each other. That's how we're going to make it. That's how we make things through. So definitely do get into it. Do it. It saved me, honestly. You know, also what I'm doing. You know, I had some other jobs, but nothing has filled the soul. Nothing has given me that sense of satisfaction like this job has.
Fantastic. And what would you say, Deputy Chief?
It's definitely rewarding. You know, we don't make the annual salaries that doctors do, or you know, but it's a rewarding job. You leave at the end of your shift feeling fulfilled, providing a service to the public.
Now, is the fire department still hiring at this time? I know they recently were, or is it a cycle type of thing where you hire a certain time of the year?
It is a cycle. So we're in the process of hiring firefighters, and we just tested last Saturday, to hire more. So yeah, we're still hiring. So we'll continue to test and continue to hire till we get to our numbers, until we're fully staffed.
And what are the requirements?
Pressure's on now. Okay.
I know you don't work in HR.
No, but so you have to be age 21 at time of hire, no felony convictions, GED or diploma, valid driver's license. So it's just the requirements are somewhat basic. So it's a great opportunity, wonderful opportunity to support someone and their family. Yeah.
And then if you get someone who's already been with another fire department and they come on, do they get like special points, or do they have to go through the same process?
It depends on if they've gone through the academy. We haven't done much lateral hiring, and that's something we're looking into right now because we need to get our numbers up as quickly as possible. And we like to do that. So, yeah.
Well, let's talk about the stations you have. I know you have 3 stations, and there's always been that thinking that in East Chicago with the train tracks, your stations are where you can get to a fire if you're at any quadrant of the city. How is that working?
Yes. Okay.
Go ahead. I'll chime in. Go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, we do have the 3 stations, and once the overpass or the bridge was created on Railroad Avenue, that made life easier, so that we can always get to wherever we need to be. The stations are in good shape, good condition. For the most part, facilities work. We're actually doing a remodeling of Central Station right now. That's the main station on Indianapolis Boulevard. New tile, new carpeting, new desk, new paint. New things like that. And I can't remember the price tag. Had a new HVAC system put in about 2 years ago. New heating system, so that life is comfortable there. And yeah, it's coming along as the rest of the city builds up. The stations are upkeeping with that, and just the quality of life there is improving.
So Central Station, the station on Kennedy Avenue was one of the newer stations.
Yes.
And then Central, and what is the other station that is being utilized?
On Michigan Avenue or Martin Luther King or Guthrie.
Whatever you want to call it at this point, right.
Like,
so that actually is the newest station. That one right on that corner, right. And then you would say the one on Kennedy Avenue, and then the Central Station. And then I believe your other station is being utilized for EMTs?
Yes, for the EMS, for Superior Service. Yes.
Okay. So they are leasing that area or using it to provide services
I'm not
to
sure
East
what
Chicago.
the deal is, but yeah, that's how they provide. And that's what they run out of. So.
And it's just like owning a home. There's always work to be done. We're looking into floors at Station 2, Station 4. Hot water heaters go out. There's always improvements to be done. So I always say it's like owning 3 or 4 homes. You're constantly looking into fixing, replacing, repairing. So yeah, they keep us busy. Those stations just in themselves, and that's not even talking about the rigs. When it comes to the vehicles, there's always work to be done.
So how do you, as deputy chief and chief, how do you communicate with the rank and file other than through the unions? Like, is there a way that you make yourselves visible to the men who are out there fighting the fires?
Yes, we're in the stations, and not as we're spying on, in the stations. Hey, what do you need? When they come to Central, I'm on the apparatus floor. What do you need? Communicate with me. As I took over, I talked to most of the firefighters on the department and say, hey, we need your ideas. We need your thoughts. It takes all of us. And that's one thing I put on the marquee sign a few months ago during this pandemic. This pandemic has shown that it takes all of us. And we've worked well, just the other city departments. I personally have worked well with building, and I don't want to say the wrong name, and police department and health department because I was doing inspections. But I see it just takes all of us to make the city go around, and it takes all of us to make the department go around. So I tell everyone, come with your ideas, come with your thoughts. Let's just make this as good as possible.
Okay, I'm just going to open the phone lines up if we have time to take a call. 219-845-1100. We are talking to the East Chicago Fire Chief, Chief Damon Carpenter, as well as the Deputy Chief, and that's Chief Marc Escobedo. And if you have any questions regarding the East Chicago Fire Department, and time permitting, we will take your calls. So, gentlemen, we talk about direction and the fire department. And is there something in your mind that you would like to see happen for the future of the East Chicago Fire Department? Something that hasn't been done moving forward.
That hasn't been done?
Yes.
I just think we could always do better. And that's I guess that's our goal. Just to listen to all the firemen, and Chief was able to get out. He was able to talk to everybody when he first came in that first week, and that was a message he was giving. He was requesting ideas to problems along with solutions.
Right.
And he wanted to start from the bottom and have that message come all the way to the top to our turn chiefs, who we see typically more often on a day-to-day basis, especially in 2020 when COVID hit. It was so hard to communicate with everyone because we were trying to keep everybody apart, and email and phones are really our only forms of communication. So now that things are kind of getting more relaxed, he was able to get out and send that message that if there are ideas or problems or issues, send them up the chain, and we'll do our best to address them and create a better department. And
Verlie, and our goal is to help each firefighter become the best firefighter they can be, and help this department be the best department it can be. And I told him, or we told him, that we are all we've got. We can't control anything outside of us, any of the politics, any of the money, we can't control that. All we can do is come to work, do our best. And so we want to make sure they have the right tools in place, the right equipment. We have the new training tower. What do you need? For health, we have people for, stress is probably the biggest killer. And, along with heart disease, firefighters. So we're going to get whatever we have. Right now we have tools for people to go and talk to someone because this job will weigh on you. Divorce rates are through the roof because of what this job does to you, or any public service as far as fire, EMS, public safety. So that's what I want to do when I say take care of the firefighters. That's what our vision is. It's just to give them all the tools available. Hey, if you need nutritionists, we're bringing nutritionists. If you want to do yoga, we're bringing yoga. Whatever it takes to make this work for you, to take care of you as a person, as a being, as a human being. Because I love and respect every member of that department, and I've always given my all. And so that'll continue.
Okay, well, let's go to the phone lines. We have Dave waiting patiently. Good morning, Dave.
Hey, Verlie. Good morning, gentlemen. I appreciate you coming on this morning. You guys had mentioned that you are hiring. I guess the 800-pound gorilla in the room is, there is probably a reason why you're hiring. It's been pretty well publicized over the course of the last year or so, the alleged controversy between the mayor and the fire department. A lot of the discussion revolves around the shift structure being changed for the East Chicago firefighters. Historically, firefighters have worked 24 on, 48 off, which seems to be really conducive and seems to be popular nationwide for fire departments to function properly. It's my understanding that the shifts have been changed in East Chicago. You guys are looking to bring on new hires, and clearly there's a reason for that. Do you guys mind explaining what the current shift structure is, just so any prospective applicant knows what they're kind of getting into?
Thank you, Dave. I'll let you hang up and listen to their response.
Thank you, Dave, and thanks for your question. I wonder where Dave is from, because he says East Chicago. No one from the region says East Chicago. It's East Chicago. So I'll just lightly touch on that and say, you know what? 24 hours are the backbone of the fire service. I agree. We're working to get back to 24-hour shifts. We've been meeting with the union, and that will come with a contract. And last I talked with President Mata, he told us they're 95% done with the contract. And so once the contract is complete, everything's worked out, then we'll be back on 24s. We'll have everything there, and this will all go away. And, so that's where we're at with it. So.
All right. Well, hopefully that answered your question, Dave. As far as working with the union and you being management, of course, usually even in any type of job, there's usually that conflict between the union, rank and file, and management, because management's looking at a picture from a whole different perspective than the union and the workers that they represent. How has your relationship been? Because you at one point were a part of that union, correct?
Yes, that is correct. Lifelong union member. So that is absolutely correct. Like I said, the relationship is good. And, it's only been a month, but the relationship is good. And that's how we will continue to be. During the meeting, we told them, this could be utopia. Honestly, the city is on good financial footing. We have good equipment. We have good stations. We have newer trucks. and everything could be worked out, and this could just really work well for everyone here. And so that's what we're working on, and I think we'll get there.
Okay, now Dave alluded to the fact that the reason why there's a need to hire is because I'm assuming that, firefighters have retired.
Yes.
And others have probably left and gone to other departments.
That is correct.
Based on a shift.
And you know what, Verlie, too? God bless them. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, and I tell them all. I tell everyone who's contemplating leaving or who has left, say, dude, you have to do what's best for you and your family. I want you to do that. I don't want you to stay in a place that you don't feel good about, that's going to have your mind messed up. No, I want you to do what's best for you and your family, and any way we can support you and help you with that, we will. And it's no hard feelings. It's everyone's individual right to do what's best for them. And I honor and respect that.
So let me ask you a question, because if you get a firefighter who's left another department and come to your department, do they get seniority based on where they left, or don't they have to start at the bottom?
Right now, they have to start at the bottom. If Marc and I got on close to the same time, if I leave for 5 years and then I come back and say, hey, I want my seniority back, it kind of leaves a bad taste in the mouth of the guys and the girls who stayed there, of the members who stayed there and who've been there the entire time. So, yeah, I would think that they would have to start the process over.
Yeah, I would too. Well, East Chicago, I believe, is always moving in the right direction, and especially under the leadership of Mayor Copeland. I mean, we talk about the facilities that you have, the work that's going on in those places, the training center. A lot of those things aren't happening around the country even because of COVID. Cities have been struggling. Of course, we know there's an influx of money coming in now, and hopefully that money will continue to be used wisely as it has in the past with any money in the city of East Chicago. Right. And so if you had a wish list based on some of the money that's coming in from the COVID release, what would one thing you would like to see put in place at the department that you don't currently have?
Oh, wow. That's a good question.
That's a very good question.
I should have brought my wish list.
He brought his bucket list. You should have brought the wish list too.
I gotta bring 2 lists.
Wow. Well, when it comes to for me, it's there's technology. There's just along with science. I mean, there's so many tools that are coming out that we were just talking about this the other day. That one tool takes the place of 3 tools. That would just save so much space on our rigs and vehicles and. Even the vehicles themselves, back in the day, the good old days, we sat on fire engines that were where we sat outside the cab. They weren't in closed cabs. So keeping up with technology is just, for me, I think that would be ideal when it comes to tools and rigs and even training tools. There's just so many tools out there that simulate, real life, real fires. Mm-hmm. So just having the ability to, I guess, acquire some of those just to keep us at a high level of efficiency, you know what I mean? It would be great.
Great.
So I think off the top of my head that's where I would start.
Okay. And Chief Carpenter?
Yeah, there are some things that we'd like to do, and 3 weeks in, I'm still trying to get a feel of everything. But we've been blessed to have newer fire engines. Most of them are 2016, 2018, things like that within a few years old. So it's hard to say we need new rigs, we need new, this or that, because we've been in a good financial position city-wise, and so we've been able to get that. Now there are some newer rigs that we want to get just to change our adaptability and change our effectiveness, and so that's some of the things we're looking at. So we're just putting together our plan right now. So it's not quite together yet, but putting it together. We were speaking with our assistant chiefs and district chiefs and those guys, just to bring in that knowledge and experience to say, hey, this is the direction we want to go. What direction you think we should go? How do we do this together? How do we make sure that knowledge is passed on from now to the next generation, as you said, because guys are retiring, guys are leaving sooner. So how do we do it? Let's come together and let's just put it all on paper. Let's make it work.
Just looking for ways to be more effective and more efficient.
Great. Well, East Chicago is blessed to have you 2 gentlemen in control of the fire department in the leadership roles. We look forward to having you come back on the City of East Chicago show and share with us some of the changes as they occur under your leadership. Any final things you'd like to say to our listeners out there? And of course, to your families out there who are seeing you in these roles, and I know that they're very proud of you both.
Final words. Everyone's welcome to stop by Central Fire Station anytime. Obviously, it's better if you call first. I would even recommend that for anybody who ever considered fire service. Give us a call at Central Fire Station 219-391-8472. Talk to myself or Chief Carpenter, and we'll give you a little insight on what it's like to be a firefighter.
Chief Carpenter?
Thank you. I'm thankful for the love and support of my family and for the people, citizens of East Chicago, and the mayor, the city workers, everyone. They've always been good to me throughout my 23 years, even before that. So we've all worked well together. We'll continue to work well together. And I thank the men and women of the East Chicago Fire Department, my backbone. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, we want to thank you for tuning in to the City of East Chicago show. We're here at WJOB every fourth Friday at 8:35. It's a 25-minute show, so it goes by so fast. We were able to take a phone call today. That's not the norm because it does go by so fast. But we want you to stay tuned. This has been WJOB AM 1230 and 104.7. And we want you to stay tuned because coming up next is our award-winning Veterans Views program here on WJOB.